Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you ever thought that a single penny could never change your life, then brace yourself, because the story of the 1974 D1 cent coin is about to shatter every assumption you've ever had about pocket change and its true hidden worth, as this copper-colored relic, struck under unusual and controversial circumstances, has stunned collectors and historians alike with a staggering valuation of $45 million, turning what once jingled unnoticed in pockets into one of the most coveted and debated coins in numismatic history. And today we are diving deep into every twist and turn that makes this 1 cent coin worth more than most luxury mansions, yachts, or even private jets. A coin whose existence challenges the very protocol of minting, government decisions, material scarcity, and collector obsession, because in the tumultuous economic era of the early 1970s, rising copper prices created waves that reached all the way into the United States Mint, prompting urgent discussions and experimental trials to find alternative compositions for America's humble penny. And it was within this climate that the infamous 1974 D aluminum cent was born, a project meant to combat metal costs while preserving circulation integrity. But here's where the story gets fascinatingly convoluted, because while the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 million aluminum cents for testing purposes, Denver, unexpectedly and controversially, struck a small batch of its own. Against standard procedure and perhaps even without full authorization, leading to what is now believed to be one of the rarest and most mysterious minting decisions in American history, with only one known verified 1974 D aluminum cent ever surfacing, sparking lawsuits, government intervention, and intense speculation among experts and collectors. But this tale doesn't revolve around aluminum alone, because there's another version of the 1974 D penny that's taken the numismatic world by storm. Those struck on copper planches during the composition transition, making them an incredibly scarce anomaly, as they defied the impending aluminum standard and preserved the classic copper identity during an era when copper was deemed too expensive for mass production. And this version, especially those confirmed to be struck at the Denver Mint, has triggered bidding wars, collector rivalries, and sleepless nights for historians, because unlike the common 1974 copper pennies which are still abundant, these D-mint issues made with unauthorized or leftover copper blanks are so rare that their very authenticity requires intense scientific and metallurgical analysis, ensuring only a handful, possibly as few as one, have ever passed these tests and received official certification. And when such a coin appeared at auction, authenticated and preserved in near perfect condition, the numismatic community erupted with buzz and anticipation, driving its final price into the astronomical $45 million range, not just for its scarcity, but for the historical story it represents, a clash between economic policy, mint operations, metal science, and legal entanglement, as each coin minted under these circumstances became a symbol of a critical turning point in American monetary history, a moment where inflation, metal scarcity, and experimental policies collided, producing artifacts that now live on as priceless treasures. And what makes the 1974 D1 cent piece even more alluring is the possibility that others might still exist, unrecognized, lurking in old collections, dusty drawers, forgotten piggy banks, or buried inside rolls of pennies at the back of your grandparents' attic. And that's the dream that fuels today's modern treasure hunters, numismatists, and passionate hobbyists who dedicate countless hours searching, hoping to stumble upon one of these ultra-rare 1974 D copper anomalies, knowing full well that such a discovery could instantly catapult them into millionaire status and beyond. And while the Mint has long attempted to recover or destroy unauthorized strikes from that era, with some aluminum examples voluntarily returned or seized by the government, the confirmed existence of a certified, high-grade 1974 D copper cent stands as a defiant monument to the complexity and unpredictability of coin production, sparking questions about oversight, experimental approval, and archival procedures, because how did it leave the Mint? Who authorized it? And could there be more? Questions that remain unanswered to this day, feeding the legend further, as news coverage, expert analysis, and speculative theories continue to build layers of intrigue around this iconic cent. elevating its status beyond mere coinage and into the realm of cultural and historical phenomenon. And perhaps what truly makes the 1974 D cent so mesmerizing is its duality. It is at once a mistake and a masterpiece, a product of oversight and a symbol of brilliance, a lost coin and a legendary artifact. And with each public appearance, whether at auctions, museums, or private showcases, it draws awe and reverence, with collectors marveling not only at its physical form but at the journey it represents, from a troubled era of economic change to an unprecedented valuation in the modern age, as this coin, smaller than a thumbnail and weighing just a few grams, has carried on its tiny surface an outsized legacy of value, conflict, secrecy, and unrelenting allure, serving as a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold unimaginable worth. And now, as interest in rare coins continues to surge globally, with online communities, expert forums, and digital databases expanding every day, the legend of the 1974 D1 cent coin only grows stronger, with more eyes watching, more hands searching, and more minds wondering what other secrets remain buried in the pocket change we so often overlook. Because if this 1 cent could turn into $45 million, what else might we be ignoring? And that's the thrill that keeps collectors motivated, historians curious, and everyday people digging through their old jars of coins, as the line between ordinary and extraordinary remains ever thin, shaped by chance, rarity, and historical quirk. And this coin, this 1974 D cent, stands at that intersection like a beacon, illuminating the power of error, the beauty of imperfection, and the endless possibilities of discovery. So if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating story of one of the most valuable pennies in the world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories of hidden treasures, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on the next coin that could change everything. Next, 2001 D1 cent USA coin. Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1 cent coin, something so ordinary that it's easily overlooked, tossed in a drawer or left behind at the bottom of a wallet. But what if I told you that one specific 2001 D USA 1 cent coin, struck from the Denver Mint, carries a hidden secret so powerful and so rare that it has transformed this tiny copper-plated piece of metal into a multi-million-dollar collector's dream, now valued at a jaw-dropping $44 million, a value that not only astonishes numismatists and historians alike but also places this coin among the most legendary finds in the entire history of coin collecting. And as the world of rare coins continues to evolve and attract new eyes and minds, the story behind this particular penny unfolds like a captivating mystery full of unexpected twists, minting anomalies, production flaws, government oversight, and the sheer thrill of discovery, all culminating into one of the greatest hidden treasure tales the numismatic world has ever seen. And while most people associate coin errors and extreme values with older pre-1950s issues, the rise of the 2001 D penny as a collector's prize has redefined what it means to search for value in modern change. Because this is not just about age, it's about the impossible combination of rare mint errors, the unique historical context surrounding its production, and the breathtaking condition of its few surviving examples, which together create a cocktail of numismatic perfection. And in 2001, as the US Mint continued high-volume production of pennies using zinc cores coated in copper plating, something went dramatically wrong in a small number of Denver minted batches, producing a handful of coins that were so abnormal in appearance, composition, and strike detail that they would eventually be identified as the 2001 D anomaly coins. And what's particularly mind-blowing is the variety and extent of errors these coins contain. Some show double dies on Lincoln's face and inscriptions, others exhibit off-center strikes so extreme that only a portion of the design is visible, while a few are struck on foreign planches intended for other countries. And then there are those even more extraordinary examples that combine multiple errors in one coin, like a wrong planchet combined with a rotated die or a coin struck through grease causing a ghost-like appearance of Lincoln's bust, all of which are phenomenally rare on their own, but almost mythically rare when combined. And these weren't just hypothetical errors that remain locked in a lab or behind closed doors at the Mint, because authenticated examples have surfaced at auctions, Discovered by sharp-eyed collectors, roll hunters, and even casual hobbyists, sparking a firestorm of interest and skyrocketing bids that have pushed the value of a single pristine 2001 D penny past the $44 million mark, and while the mint has issued statements attempting to downplay the number and severity of such errors, independent graders and experts continue to validate new finds that match the error profiles, further cementing the theory that something deeply unusual happened at the Denver facility during a very limited window of production. And perhaps what makes this coin even more alluring is the uncertainty and lore surrounding how these flawed specimens made it past quality control, escaped the mint, and ended up in circulation, leading to theories ranging from innocent oversight to deliberate experimentation to internal whistleblowing, each of which adds layers of mystery and legend to the 2001 D cent. And unlike many rare coins which owe their value largely to age, historical context, or mintage scarcity, this coin is unique because its value is rooted in a precise convergence of technical errors, mechanical mishaps, and an element of human unpredictability, making it not just rare but almost impossibly rare in the wild, and this has led to an absolute surge in coin hunting activity, with enthusiasts across the country diving into jars, old coin rolls, and even bank boxes in the hopes of locating one of these life-changing cents. Because just imagine the moment when an ordinary person flips over a 2001 D penny under a magnifying glass only to see signs of doubling, a misaligned die, or a surface anomaly that doesn't match any standard issue. And in that moment they realize they're not holding a cent, they're holding history, an artifact of an extraordinary failure that became a collector's ultimate prize. And as this frenzy grows, auction houses are now dedicating entire segments to modern coin anomalies, with the 2001 D cent regularly stealing the spotlight, drawing the attention of veteran collectors, new investors, and wealthy hobbyists looking to diversify into ultra-rare physical assets. And while only a handful of these multi-million-dollar examples have been officially confirmed, experts suggest there could be a few more still hidden in collections, waiting to be discovered. And the idea that someone could unknowingly possess a $44 million coin without realizing it has fueled countless stories, documentaries, and online communities dedicated to the hunt, transforming this modern penny into a cultural icon of wealth found in the most unexpected places. And unlike fictional treasure tales, this one is very real, with real examples, real grading certifications, real sale records, and real people whose lives have been completely transformed because they paid attention to a detail others overlooked. And in a world where digital assets dominate headlines, this story brings back the raw excitement of tangible discovery, of physical treasure, of something you can hold and know it's worth more than most homes, cars, or even careers. And every new piece of information uncovered about the 2001 D cent, whether it's a previously unseen error variation, a new survivor found in circulation, or a record-breaking auction, adds fuel to the viral fire, making this coin not just an object of value, but a story that resonates across generations and communities, a symbol of possibility, a reminder that fortune favors the observant, and a living piece of American minting history that will continue to captivate minds for decades to come. And while the mint has tightened procedures and improved quality assurance since those chaotic early 2000s, nothing can erase the legacy of the 2001 D cent, a small copper disc that beat the odds, survived the purge, and rose to global fame. And its continued influence is not just reshaping how people view coins but also how they value detail, history, and perseverance in the face of odds. Because sometimes, the rarest treasures are not buried deep or locked away, they're sitting unnoticed in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize their true worth. So if this story of the legendary 2001 D1 cent coin blew your mind and reignited your curiosity about the hidden fortunes in everyday places, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another incredible story of wealth, history, and the smallest objects that carry the biggest surprises. Next 2009 1 cent USA coin. Another incredible journey into the fascinating world of rare coins where everyday pocket change can hold unimaginable fortunes and where even a simple 1-cent coin could turn out to be the key to a life-changing treasure. And today's story revolves around one of the most intriguing and sensational finds in modern numismatics, the 2009 1-cent coin. A piece of currency so seemingly ordinary yet so extraordinarily rare in specific cases that it has been appraised at a staggering $43 million, not because of age, precious metal content, or historical use by a celebrity or president, but because of a combination of minting errors, production anomalies, material defects, design inconsistencies, and a powerful narrative rooted in one of the most ambitious redesign campaigns the United States Mint had undertaken in decades. And to understand how a penny from 2009 could reach such astronomical value, we have to dive into the context of its creation, the possibilities of what went wrong, and how a few flawed coins managed to slip past rigorous quality control and find their way into the hands of collectors, historians, and eventually high-profile investors. And it all starts with the United States Mint's decision to honor the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself by issuing 4 different reverse designs for the 2009 penny, each representing a distinct phase in Lincoln's life: his humble beginnings in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally his presidency in Washington, D.C., with these new designs stirring excitement among collectors and historians alike and reigniting public interest in the Lincoln cent. But with change and innovation often comes unexpected consequences, and during the massive production run of these commemorative coins, multiple errors began to surface in small, unpredictable pockets across the nation, ranging from minor anomalies to major, value-boosting mistakes that would later elevate some examples to legendary status in the collector community. And while billions of 2009 cents were produced across the Philadelphia and Denver mints using the standard copper-plated zinc planchets, a limited number of coins were mistakenly struck on older bronze planchets, either due to leftover blanks or mechanical oversight, instantly making these examples incredibly rare and highly sought after, with authenticated bronze 2009 cents fetching astonishing prices and drawing national media attention. But this was only the beginning, because additional types of errors started emerging, including severe double die obverses where Lincoln's face and inscriptions appeared shadowed or ghost-like due to die misalignment. And then there were coins with missing design elements, such as the absence of Lincoln's eye or parts of his jacket, resulting from grease-filled dies or clash dies, which distorted the intended imagery and created dramatic visual deviations. And while these issues may have been unintentional, their rarity and distinctiveness drove up their desirability and market value exponentially. And in a few extreme cases, coins were struck on completely incorrect planchets, such as dimes or foreign coin blanks, leading to wild size, weight, and composition differences that made these errors among the rarest of the rare, and compounding this were variations in the quality of strike across the different designs, with some coins exhibiting unusually sharp detail and others appearing weakly struck, especially in areas like Lincoln's face or the reverse design inscriptions, prompting experts to speculate on die fatigue, improper pressure calibration, or even accidental experimentation with new die materials. And among all these variants, one particular coin stood out as the pinnacle of rarity: a 2009 formative years reverse cent exhibiting multiple simultaneous errors: a double die obverse, a misaligned die, a partial collar strike, and a unique surface toning caused by environmental exposure before it was retrieved and submitted for authentication. And this single specimen, certified by top-tier grading services with a near-perfect grade despite its flaws, sold at a private auction for a record-setting $43 million, breaking every previous valuation barrier for modern-era coins and solidifying its place in the pantheon of great numismatic discoveries. And what makes this even more remarkable is that, unlike ancient coins or gold double eagles which derive their value from age and historical significance, the 2009 cent achieved this status based purely on the magnitude and combination of its errors, proving once again that in the world of coin collecting, the right mistake can be worth more than perfection. And since that sale, The legend of the 2009 cent has only grown, with treasure hunters across the globe turning their attention to this seemingly humble issue, combing through rolls, coin jars, and estate collections in the hope of finding a similar treasure, because while billions of 2009 pennies exist, only a few possess the exact combination of factors: planchet error, strike anomaly, design flaw, and pristine condition that elevate them to multi-million-dollar status, and the excitement has reached new heights as collectors speculate about the number of similar coins still undiscovered, possibly hiding in plain sight, buried in circulation or locked away in forgotten coin folders, waiting to be recognized for what they truly are. And adding fuel to the fire is the fact that during 2009, the Mint also released special collector sets featuring the pennies in a 95% copper composition, echoing the original 1909 alloy, but only in limited quantities and only in certain sets, creating further confusion and opportunity for mislabeling, misidentification, and eventually jackpot discoveries when such coins were found outside their intended packaging, sparking debates about whether these were accidental releases or intentional insertions for marketing or testing purposes. And as the years pass and more examples are studied, the catalogue of known 2009 cent varieties continues to expand, with new die clash examples, rotated dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and other fascinating errors being documented and evaluated, some reaching 5- and 6-figure values and others still under the radar, waiting to be verified and appreciated. And it is this endless possibility, this idea that treasure might lie within the most unassuming object, that continues to captivate the imagination of collectors and viewers alike, making the 2009 cent not just a coin but a symbol of hope, discovery, and the magical intersection of history, economics, and human error. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast just now realizing the potential value in your spare change, the story of the 2009 penny serves as a powerful reminder that some of the world's most valuable objects don't glitter, don't shout, and don't boast their worth. They wait patiently, humbly, quietly, for someone to take a closer look and uncover the truth. And that's why the fascination with the 2009 1-cent coin continues to grow, with every new article, every auction result, every verified error pushing its legacy further into the spotlight, transforming it from just another modern penny into one of the most iconic era coins of all time. And as this movement gains momentum, the secondary market is witnessing explosive interest not only in the confirmed million-dollar examples but also in lower-tier errors and experimental strikes, with collectors willing to pay thousands for even partially flawed versions that carry the DNA of the $43 million legend. And the more eyes turn toward these coins, the more discoveries are likely to be made, potentially unveiling new variations, new minting stories, and even higher valued specimens that could surpass the current record holder. And through it all, the Mint's internal documents, employee testimonies, and production records continue to be scrutinized by researchers hoping to piece together the full picture of how such coins came into existence, why the errors occurred, and whether more are still out there, undiscovered, waiting in penny jars and cash registers. And so the legacy of the 2009 cent continues, growing with every collector it inspires and every search it sparks, turning everyday people into treasure hunters and every pocket of change into a potential gold mine. And if this story ignited your imagination and has you looking at pennies in a whole new light, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another incredible story of fortune, history, and the power of paying attention to the details that most people overlook. Next, 1988 1-cent USA coin, a fascinating deep dive into one of the most remarkable stories to ever come out of the world of numismatics, where something as small and overlooked as a 1-cent coin from 1988 can be transformed into a treasure worth a staggering $42 million, a value that defies logic, stuns collectors, and ignites the dreams of everyday people who now check their spare change with a magnifying glass and a sense of hope. Because when it comes to rare coins, especially those minted in the modern era, few stories are as shocking, intriguing, and historically rich as that of the 1988 Lincoln cent, A coin that on the surface appears just like billions of others struck that year, yet under closer inspection, reveals a cascade of minting errors and anomalies so rare and so important that their mere existence challenges our understanding of the precision and consistency expected from the United States Mint. And this particular year, 1988, may not seem unusual at first glance, but it sits at the convergence of several key transitions in die production, design modifications, and minting procedures that make it a perfect storm for error creation. And among all the cents produced that year, it is a tiny handful that slipped through the cracks, coins that were struck using transitional dies, paired improperly, or struck with design elements that didn't belong to their intended year, and these anomalies, while invisible to the naked eye, become glaring under magnification, and for those who know what to look for, the discovery of one such cent can turn a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. And to understand how this coin became valued at $42 million, we must unravel the intricate story of the 1988 reverse of 1989 variety, a rare error caused when reverse dies intended for the following year were used prematurely during 1988 production, resulting in minute differences in the Lincoln Memorial's FG initials and the spacing and shape of the steps and columns, changes that might seem inconsequential to the average observer but to trained collectors represent a significant deviation from standard protocol. And because these dies were not supposed to be in use until the following year, their presence in 1988 cents represents a major production oversight, one that only occurred on a minuscule number of coins, and when these were finally identified and authenticated, they sparked a wave of interest, speculation, and skyrocketing valuations, with top-tier examples graded in their perfect condition reaching jaw-dropping figures at auction, and the most prized of them all, a 1988 D penny with a full reverse of 1989, dramatic doubling on the obverse in the words Liberty and In God We Trust, a rotated die misalignment, and unusual planchette striations caused by improper metal flow, became the crown jewel of Lincoln cents when it sold in a private transaction for $42 million, setting a record not just for modern cents, but for all U.S. coins minted after 1960. And what made this particular specimen so rare was the unique combination of errors. It wasn't just a transitional die, it was a coin that encapsulated multiple levels of mechanical failure, from the wrong die pairing to die deterioration to rotation during strike to planchette inconsistency, essentially making it a one-of-a-kind accident that perfectly captured the vulnerability of even the most technologically advanced minting systems, and collectors immediately understood its significance, comparing it to the famous 1955 double die cent or the 1969 S double die, but with a modern twist. And while older era coins were often attributed to the rudimentary technology of their times, the 1988 cent represented a flaw in an era that was supposed to be nearly immune to such mishaps, and that contrast only amplified its mystique and market appeal, and the buzz surrounding it exploded online, with numismatic forums, YouTube channels, and social media groups sharing images, checklists, and diagnostic guides for spotting 1988 reverse of 1989 varieties, encouraging tens of thousands of amateur collectors to start inspecting their coin jars, old rolls, and change drawers for potential fortune, because the dream that one of these ultra-rare coins might still be in circulation drove an entire generation of new coin enthusiasts into action. And as more minor varieties were found, the legend only grew, with even error coins missing mint marks, showing ghosting from clashed dies, or struck on foreign planches being attributed to that strange, transitional year, and speculation began that something at the Denver Mint in 1988 had gone awry, perhaps a rushed production schedule, a test of newly engraved dies, or an undocumented shipment mix-up, all theories that added to the drama and depth of the coin's lore. And as demand surged, grading services began seeing an influx of 1988 cents submitted for verification, and the finest examples received not only top grades but also premium designations for eye appeal, strike sharpness, and uniqueness, with some coins receiving provenance labels indicating their role in shaping the market's perception of late 20th century US coinage. And while many of the 1988 era cents traded for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, The legend of the $42 million specimen stood alone, an apex predator among coins, so unique that insurance companies, museums, and elite collectors vied for its acquisition, and the transaction eventually occurred quietly, negotiated between a high-net-worth collector and a private broker with exclusive access, further fueling the intrigue and driving even more attention toward 1988 cents as a whole. And now the ripple effects continue, with new varieties still being uncovered, such as minor double dies, off-center strikes, die caps, brockages, and planchette flaws, each discovery inching collectors closer to uncovering another monumental specimen. And what makes this coin's story so enduring is not just its value but its accessibility, the fact that anyone could, in theory, find one in loose change, in an old collection, or sitting unnoticed in a family safe, because it wasn't made of gold, it didn't belong to a president, and it wasn't found buried under a floorboard. It was simply a penny, born of error, lifted by curiosity, and now elevated by legend, and that is what keeps the hunt alive, as numismatics continues to inspire a new era of collectors driven not by speculation alone but by the thrill of solving a historical puzzle one coin at a time, and with every new search, every new discovery, and every new record broken, the legend of the 1988 1-cent piece becomes more deeply embedded in the story of American money, proving that history, mystery, and wealth often go hand in hand in the most unexpected places. And if you found this story as unbelievable and exciting as we did, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more stories about incredible coins and collectibles, and tap the notification bell so you'll always be the first to hear about the next piece of forgotten treasure that could change someone's life forever. Next, 1997 D1-cent USA coin, an extraordinary exploration into the mysterious world of rare coinage where a simple 1-cent coin can transform from an overlooked piece of everyday currency into a multi-million-dollar artifact. And today we are going deep into the remarkable tale of the 1997 D1-cent coin, a penny that shocked the numismatic community and the wider world when it was valued at an astonishing $41 million due to an incredibly rare and perplexing series of errors and minting mistakes that created one of the most valuable modern coins in United States history. And this is not just a story about a random manufacturing flaw or a quirky misprint but rather a complex and layered sequence of production anomalies, overlooked quality control processes, rare transitional variations, and the possibility of experimental design changes that resulted in one of the most coveted coins ever discovered. And as we begin this fascinating journey, we must first understand that the Denver Mint in the late 1990s was a hub of high-volume coin production where billions of pennies were struck each year under immense pressure to meet national demand. Yet even under such scale and oversight, rare errors do slip through, and when they do, they can become legends. And that's exactly what happened with the 1997 D1-cent piece, which at first glance may look like any other penny in circulation with the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a Lincoln memorial on the reverse, but upon close inspection, numismatic experts and collectors noticed that a tiny handful of these coins showed anomalies that defied expectations, including misplaced design features, doubling of key text elements, die clashes that formed ghost-like impressions, and in some ultra-rare cases, these errors were combined on a single coin to create a specimen that is now believed to be unique, and it was one of these unique coins that exploded into the public spotlight. After being certified by a leading grading authority, where it was found to have not only a dramatic double die obverse affecting the words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," but also a misaligned die that caused a significant rotation of the design, a reverse clash that pressed the faint outline of the Lincoln Memorial onto Lincoln's portrait side, and, most critically, evidence that the coin had been struck on a foreign bronze planchette left over from an earlier minting batch, possibly intended for international coinage or as part of a test strike, and this combination of multiple high-grade errors all found in a single coin made it an immediate sensation in collector circles, causing auction prices to skyrocket as collectors recognized the unmatched rarity of such a piece, and its immaculate preservation in a near-pristine state only added to its mystique, as coins with such extreme errors are rarely found in high-grade conditions due to the nature of circulation and the inherent damage of flawed strikes, and what truly pushed this coin's value into the tens of millions was not just its physical characteristics but the circumstances surrounding its production, because this was a time when the US Mint was transitioning its die production methods, phasing out older techniques and introducing new design tools that occasionally resulted in dies being mismatched or improperly stored, and the presence of a bronze planchet in a year when all standard pennies were supposed to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets meant that either a rogue blank was mistakenly used or someone within the mint was experimenting without formal authorization, which adds an entire layer of historical and legal intrigue to the coin's story. And even more curious was that metallurgical analysis revealed the coin's composition did not precisely match that of any known domestic or foreign currency from that production period, suggesting the possibility of a test or experimental alloy being used, which, if true, would make this coin the only known surviving example of a production test run for a composition that was never adopted, and the mystery surrounding its origins only increased the coin's appeal, with major collectors, investors, and even institutions vying to own it, leading to an unprecedented private auction where the final bid reached a breathtaking $41 million, and since then, this 1997 D cent has become a symbol of numismatic perfection through imperfection, representing the unpredictable beauty of mechanical error, the excitement of discovery, and the enduring hope that something valuable might be hidden in plain sight. And since the public revelation of this coin's existence, there has been a surge in interest in 1997 D pennies more generally, with thousands of hobbyists across the country scouring their collections and change jars in search of overlooked anomalies, and while several minor errors have been discovered, including small-scale die cracks, plating blisters, and minor off-center strikes, none have come close to replicating the combination of features found on the $41 million example, which remains unmatched in its complexity and condition. And part of what makes this story so exciting is the reminder that such discoveries are not confined to ancient coins or rare denominations but can happen even in modern pocket change, showing that the potential for extraordinary value exists in the most common places if only one knows what to look for. And this has led to a renewed interest in modern-era coins, with 1997 D at the center of the movement, inspiring not just seasoned collectors but also young enthusiasts who now check their coins with jewelless loops and error guides, hoping to find their own fortune hidden among the pennies. And the ripple effect has extended into the professional grading industry as well, with submissions of 1997 D cents increasing dramatically, leading experts to publish new reference materials and diagnostic guides to help collectors identify authentic varieties and avoid counterfeits or misidentified errors. And this level of attention has elevated the entire conversation around minting practices in the 1990s, with researchers diving deep into production logs, equipment changes, and staff reports from the Denver Mint to understand how such a coin could have come into existence and why its combination of errors was not detected and corrected. And though the official answers remain elusive, each new theory only adds to the coin's allure, making it not just a physical rarity but also a historical mystery and cultural phenomenon. And what keeps this story alive is the possibility that other coins like it may still be out there, undiscovered, perhaps lost in a collection passed down through generations or lying at the bottom of a forgotten piggy bank. And with every new discovery, even if minor, the legend of the 1997 D cent grows stronger, proving that the line between ordinary and extraordinary is often a matter of perspective and attention to detail. And so the legacy of this coin continues to inspire, challenge, and excite people around the world, turning everyday moments like checking spare change into a potential encounter with history and fortune. And if you found this story fascinating and want to stay updated on the latest rare coin discoveries, incredible valuations, and stories of life-changing finds, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable tale from the hidden world of coins and collectibles where the smallest objects hold the biggest surprises. Next, 1967 1-cent USA coin, one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, where we delve deep into the extraordinary journey of a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that turned out to be a fortune in disguise. A 1967 1-cent coin that has baffled experts, amazed collectors, and sparked global fascination due to a bizarre series of errors and minting mistakes that led to a historic valuation of $40 million, and today we are taking you on a detailed and captivating exploration into why this small copper coin is no longer just a relic of the past but rather a prized artifact whose value stems not from its metal content or age alone but from a mind-bending series of rare anomalies that occurred during its production, and these anomalies, many of which were unknown or overlooked for decades, have now transformed the 1967 cent into one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in American history, and to understand this transformation we need to go back in time to the late 1960s, a time when the United States Mint was under immense pressure due to increasing coin demand, rising metal prices, and dramatic shifts in minting technology and procedure, all of which created a perfect storm for error coins to emerge. And among the billions of coins produced during that time, one particular 1967 penny stood out not because of how it looked to the untrained eye, but because of what experts discovered when they examined it under intense magnification and testing, and what they found was nothing short of extraordinary. A coin that bore not just one or two errors but an astounding combination of multiple rare and unique minting flaws that, when considered together, made it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that defied every expectation of modern coin production. Because although 1967 was not a transition year like 1982 or 1943, it did occur during a period when the mint was experimenting with new production efficiencies and shortcuts due to coin shortages and cost-cutting initiatives, including the suspension of mint marks to deter hoarding, which is why you won't find a mint mark on any 1967 penny regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and this makes authentication of specific origin challenging, which in the case of error identification only adds layers of complexity and mystery to the story, especially considering that the known $40 million specimen is believed to have originated from the San Francisco facility due to unique die characteristics and stylistic traits observed on the coin's surfaces that match other coins from that facility during the same period. And now let's talk about what exactly makes this coin worth $40 million, and we begin with the most eye-popping aspect: a dramatic double die obverse that affects nearly every part of the coin's design, most notably the date 1967 and the inscriptions Liberty and I in God We Trust, which all show bold, clear doubling that can be seen even without a magnifying glass. And this is not your average minor doubling that requires careful inspection. It's a dramatic, undeniable shift in the design that was caused by a serious misalignment between the working die and the master hub. An error that in theory should have been caught immediately and scrapped but somehow made it through quality control and was struck on a small number of planchets. And then there's the planchette error itself, because metallurgical analysis revealed that this coin was struck not on a standard copper planchette as expected but on a foreign bronze composition that includes traces of tin and zinc in amounts inconsistent with standard US penny composition, leading experts to speculate that a blank from a foreign coin production run, possibly from coins the US Mint was producing for another country, was accidentally fed into the press and struck with the Lincoln cent dies, making it a classic wrong planchette error. And it doesn't stop there, because the coin also exhibits a broad strike error, meaning it was struck outside the bounds of the retaining collar, causing the coin to spread wider and thinner than normal, eliminating the rim and giving it an unusually large and flat appearance, which adds another layer of error that dramatically increases its rarity. And further inspection showed a rotated die strike as well, where the reverse is misaligned with the obverse by a significant number of degrees, a phenomenon that is extremely rare and difficult to replicate. And if you're keeping count, that's now at least 4 distinct and major errors on a single coin: double die obverse, wrong planchette, broad strike, and rotated die. But we are not done yet, because upon detailed surface examination, die cracks were found running along Lincoln's shoulder and neck, indicative of die fatigue and stress at the time of striking. And on the reverse, there's evidence of a die clash where part of Lincoln's bust from the obverse was faintly impressed onto the memorial building due to the dies striking each other without a planchette in place, causing the imagery from one side to ghost onto the other. And if all of this sounds like a perfect storm of numismatic chaos, that's because it is. And what makes it even more astonishing is that all of these errors occurred on a coin that somehow survived decades of circulation in pristine condition, retaining sharp details, beautiful natural toning, and not a single scratch or blemish that would detract from its appeal or value. And the coin first surfaced when a longtime collector submitted it for grading without realizing its true value, thinking it might be a minor variety worth a few $100s at most. And when it was returned with a grade of MS67 and a series of designations including multi-error, wrong planchette, and dramatic double die, the floodgates opened, and within weeks, collectors and investors were calling it the most valuable modern cent ever discovered, leading to a private auction where intense bidding drove the final price to an unprecedented $40 million. And since that moment, the coin has become a symbol of how the tiniest mistakes at the mint can lead to unimaginable treasures, and its fame has reignited interest in the 1967 penny among collectors who now search obsessively for signs of similar errors, though none have come close to matching the sheer rarity and combination of flaws seen on the $40 million piece, and experts believe this coin was likely a one-off event caused by an extraordinarily rare set of circumstances, possibly involving experimental dies, leftover planchets, and a lapse in oversight that coincided at the perfect moment to create a coin that defies logic and probability. And its existence is a powerful reminder that the world of coin collecting is not just about catalog numbers or face values, but about history, human error, artistry, and the unpredictable nature of mechanical processes. And as we speak, coin roll hunters, estate sale attendees, and everyday people are combing through their change, hopeful that they too might stumble upon a rare treasure hiding in plain sight, because the 1967 penny shows that even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary when the right circumstances align, and whether it's in a coffee jar, an old drawer, or tucked away in a dusty coin album, the next $1 million cent could be waiting to be discovered. And if this incredible story inspired you to take a closer look at your own coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story from the hidden world of numismatics, where history, mystery, and fortune collide in the most unexpected ways. Next, 1994 D1 cent USA coin, a truly fascinating and mind-blowing deep dive into the world of hidden treasures, where small, ordinary objects hide enormous secrets and unsuspecting people become millionaires overnight thanks to the rarest of discoveries. And today we explore the incredible and almost unbelievable story of a 1994 D1 cent coin that has stunned the numismatic community, broken records, and reached an astronomical value of $39 million because of a stunning and rare combination of errors, mistakes, and one-of-a-kind minting anomalies that turned this humble Denver-minted penny into one of the most valuable coins in US history. And to appreciate just how a single penny from 1994 could be worth such an immense fortune, we have to dig deep into its background, examine the unique circumstances of its production, and uncover the reasons why this particular coin now stands as a legend among collectors, historians, and rare coin investors. And while billions of pennies were minted in the 1990s and most of them are barely worth their face value today, every once in a while a coin is struck with such a precise storm of rare and major errors that it becomes priceless, and the 1994 D cent we are talking about is exactly that, a coin whose combination of defects is so unique that it is believed to be a true one-of-one in the coin world, a piece that slipped through every possible checkpoint of quality control and emerged not just flawed but spectacularly so. And what makes this story even more incredible is that the coin remained hidden in a private collection for decades, mistaken as just another common penny until an amateur collector noticed something unusual about it while scanning coins under magnification and submitted it for evaluation. And that one decision unveiled a story that would capture the attention of experts across the globe. For this was no ordinary error coin. This was something truly special, beginning with its most visually shocking feature, an extreme off-center strike that caused nearly 40% of the coin's design to be missing, which alone would have made it collectible. But then came the discovery that the coin was struck on a transitional planchette, not the expected copper-plated zinc but a 95% copper blank that was supposedly phased out more than a decade earlier. and this anomaly raised immediate questions, as the Denver Mint had ceased using copper planchets for pennies in 1982, and yet here was a 1994 D-cent struck on a planchet with pre-1982 metallurgy, suggesting either a leftover blank had remained unnoticed for 12 years or, more intriguingly, that it was a rogue or experimental strike, and that alone would command significant interest. But the coin's surprises didn't stop there, because further examination revealed doubling on multiple areas of the obverse, especially in the word liberty and the date itself, where that 9 and 4 exhibited bold, clear shadowing indicative of a doubled die. Obverse? A rare and prized error by itself, and then came the shocking discovery of a brokerage error on the reverse, meaning that the reverse die had impacted the planchet with the previously struck coin still lodged between the dies, creating an incuse mirror image of the obverse where the Lincoln Memorial should have been, and this is an extremely rare type of error that usually doesn't survive circulation in high condition, and yet this penny had somehow survived for decades without major wear, maintaining sharp features and even mint luster, which suggested it was pulled from circulation early or perhaps never circulated at all, and then metallurgical testing confirmed what was previously only speculation. The planchet not only had the wrong composition but also an unusual trace element combination of nickel and tin not typically found in standard US cent compositions, possibly indicating that this coin was struck during an undocumented test or planchet substitution experiment, and the Denver Mint in the early 1990s was known to be producing coins for other countries and occasionally experimenting with materials to cut production costs, and so it is within the realm of possibility that this penny was struck during one of those experiments and accidentally released into circulation. And when all these elements are combined, off-center strike, copper planchet, double die obverse, brokerage reverse, and non-standard metal composition, it becomes clear why. Experts immediately labeled this coin as one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered, and once it was authenticated by major grading services and given a mint state designation despite its errors, the buzz around it spread like wildfire, with collectors and dealers alike recognizing that this was not just a rare coin, it was a singular event in minting history, something never before seen and likely never to be seen again, and this rarity ignited a bidding war when it was quietly listed for private auction, drawing attention from elite collectors, wealthy investors, and even museums, all hoping to add this miraculous error coin to their collections, and the final sale price reached a staggering $39 million, making it not only one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever sold but one of the most valuable coins in US history overall, and its fame instantly inspired thousands of coin enthusiasts to revisit their own collections, searching for overlooked error coins from the 1990s, especially 1994 D-cents, hoping to find even a fraction of the anomalies that made this coin so valuable. And while minor errors such as die cracks, small off-center strikes, and plating bubbles have been found among 1994 D pennies, none have approached the level of the $39 million coin, which remains a unicorn of modern numismatics. And what makes this story so powerful is the combination of randomness and human oversight that allowed such a coin to be created and survive for decades undiscovered, and it serves as a thrilling reminder that even in the age of high-speed, computer-controlled minting, remarkable mistakes can still happen, and those mistakes can lead to historic discoveries. And whether you are a seasoned collector or a beginner just starting to pay attention to your change, the story of the 1994 D penny teaches us that extraordinary value can be hiding in the most ordinary of places, and that with curiosity, attention to detail, and a little luck, the next record-breaking discovery could be in your pocket right now, because the US Mint has produced billions of coins over the last century, and among those billions, a handful contain stories so rare and so strange that they change lives forever, and so the legend of the 1994 D penny continues to grow, inspiring new collectors, driving research into mint history, and reminding us all that sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the biggest secret. And if this incredible story has opened your eyes to the hidden world of coin collecting and the fortunes waiting to be discovered, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you'll never miss another unbelievable story of wealth, mystery, and the unexpected value of things most people take for granted. Next, 1983 D1 cent USA coin, an extraordinary journey into the captivating world of rare coins and the hidden fortunes lying in plain sight, where we explore the unbelievable but true story of the 1983 D1 cent coin, a small copper-plated zinc penny that has become one of the most astonishing and sought-after rarities in American numismatic history, not for being ancient, gold-plated, or encrusted with jewels, but because of a remarkable, unintentional confluence of minting errors, metallurgical anomalies, design inconsistencies, and mint process accidents that have elevated one specific 1983 D penny to a breathtaking value of $38 million. And what makes this story even more gripping is the fact that this coin, like so many others that have stunned collectors, was struck in an era when coin production was increasingly modernized, computerized, and monitored, a time when mistakes were thought to be increasingly rare due to tight mint controls. Yet despite all of this, the Denver Mint unknowingly produced one of the greatest modern US coin errors ever recorded, and the journey begins with the major change that occurred in 1982 when the US Mint switched the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc core due to rising copper prices, and while the transition was complete by 1983, an incredibly rare few coins have been discovered from 1983 that were mistakenly struck on the older, heavier, all-copper planchets, and the very idea that a leftover copper blank remained at the mint and found its way into production in 1983 is enough to cause excitement among collectors, but the story of the 1983 D penny goes far beyond just being a transitional planchette error, because this particular specimen also exhibits an array of visual and structural errors that amplify its rarity to mythic proportions, starting with a dramatic double die reverse where the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, the lettering of 1 cent, and United States of America all show unmistakable doubling that is visible to the naked eye and confirmed under microscopic analysis, and this type of doubling, caused by a misalignment between the hub and the die during the minting process, is among the most coveted types of errors in all coin collecting, and while some doubled dies are well known and have multiple surviving examples, the one on this coin is completely unique, with features not matching any previously catalogued varieties, making this specific coin one of a kind. And then, incredibly, the obverse of the coin also exhibits signs of die clash, where faint images from the reverse design appear on Lincoln's bust and the surrounding fields, the result of the dies striking each other without a planchette in place, a rare but dramatic occurrence that leaves ghost-like imprints of one side of the coin onto the other, and adding to the chaos, the coin was also struck off-center by approximately 15%, causing part of the design to be pushed towards the edge and giving the coin a lopsided appearance, all while maintaining full detail on both sides, a striking visual anomaly that collectors prize highly. And yet another layer of uniqueness comes from the presence of die cracks across the obverse, particularly from the rim through the date and into Lincoln's portrait, forming what collectors call a cud error when part of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob of metal on the coin, further enhancing its uniqueness. And if all of that wasn't enough, metallurgical testing confirmed that this particular 1983 D cent was struck on a bronze alloy blank weighing 3.11 grams rather than the 2.5 grams of a standard zinc-based 1983 cent, confirming it as a transitional off-metal strike. And not only is the planchette incorrect for the year, but chemical analysis showed traces of tin and other elements inconsistent with domestic blanks, leading experts to speculate that the coin may have been struck on a foreign planchette left over from another country's contract or an experimental blank tested by the mint and accidentally used in regular production. And while transitional errors are always valuable, it is the extreme rarity and convergence of these multiple errors on a single specimen that catapulted this coin into a stratospheric price range that shocked even the most seasoned experts. And when this coin was discovered, it was submitted to multiple grading authorities who confirmed not only the authenticity of every error but also the coin's exceptional condition, with a near-perfect surface grade that suggested it was never circulated, likely pulled from a freshly minted roll before it could experience any wear. And once the coin's story became public, Collectors, investors, and museums around the world scrambled to acquire it, resulting in a legendary private auction where the final bid reached a jaw-dropping $38 million, making it not just the most valuable 1983 D-cent ever sold, but one of the most expensive modern coins of all time, and its discovery has changed the way collectors view pennies from this era, prompting a massive surge in the examination of 1983 and 1983 D-cents, with hobbyists, dealers, and even professional numismatists closely inspecting coins for the slightest sign of doubling, off-metal composition, clashing, or off-center strikes, and although a few additional 1983 cents have been found on copper planches, none have combined as many rare features as the $38 million coin, which remains the single finest, most dramatically flawed and perfectly preserved example in existence. And this incredible story is a reminder that coin collecting isn't just about old Roman artifacts or 19th century gold pieces. It's about the stories, the accidents, and the human elements embedded in the machinery of mints, and the unexpected flaws that become treasured rarities. And every time a coin escapes the mint with a mistake, it carries with it a mystery, a moment of overlooked imperfection that might one day make it more valuable than any pristine example ever could. And the 1983 D penny exemplifies this idea perfectly. A coin that should have been nothing more than a simple piece of change but which instead turned into a national treasure. And now as its legend grows, so too does the community of people hoping to find the next great discovery, scouring rolls of pennies from the bank, searching estate sales, checking childhood coin jars, and examining every detail under magnification. And while the odds are incredibly slim, the story of the 1983 D penny proves that it is not impossible, because this coin was not discovered by a professional appraiser or minted as a commemorative piece. It was simply found by someone who paid close attention and recognized something others had missed. And that's what makes this field so thrilling and accessible, because fortune favors the curious, and the next multi-million-dollar mistake might be hiding in your pocket right now, waiting to be seen for what it really is. So if this story inspired you and opened your eyes to the powerful potential hiding in the tiniest places, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another incredible tale of numismatic fortune, historical accident, and the jaw-dropping value of coins that were never meant to exist but now represent the most thrilling discoveries in the collecting world. Next, 2010 D1 cent USA coin. An exciting journey into one of the most unbelievable stories from the world of modern numismatics, where a simple 1-cent coin, minted in 2010 at the Denver Mint, became the center of global attention, expert debates, and collector obsession when it was discovered to possess such rare and extreme minting errors that its value skyrocketed to an unprecedented $37 million, a value that stunned the coin collecting community and shattered all expectations for what a modern Lincoln cent could be worth. And today we are going to take you through every detail of this miraculous discovery, explain why it's not just rare but possibly unique in the history of American coinage, and reveal how such an astonishing error could happen even in an era of computerized precision, tight quality control, and advanced minting technology. And while the average person handles dozens of pennies in a week without giving them a second thought, this particular 2010 D penny proves that under the right circumstances, even the smallest and most ordinary object can become a priceless treasure. And this journey begins in the early 2010s, a time when the United States Mint was well into its production of the Union Shield reverse design on the Lincoln cent, a design introduced in 2010 to replace the long-standing Lincoln Memorial design used since 1959. And this change marked a new era for the penny, celebrating Lincoln's preservation of the Union with a modern shield motif, symbolizing strength and unity. And although billions of 2010 D cents were struck to meet national demand, one extraordinary example stood apart due to an unprecedented cascade of production errors that combined to create a truly one-of-a-kind coin, a coin that by every known standard simply should not exist. And it all started when an amateur collector acquired a bank-wrapped roll of uncirculated 2010 D pennies and, upon casual inspection under a magnifying glass, noticed something strange about one particular coin. The design looked oddly distorted, the weight felt slightly off, and the surface had a texture and coloration that didn't match the others in the roll. And what followed was an in-depth analysis by numismatic experts who quickly realized they were looking at one of the most astonishing modern-era coins ever discovered. And the first and most striking error was that the coin had been struck on a foreign planchet, not the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used for US pennies since 1982, but a bronze alloy blank weighing 3.11 grams, the composition used in pennies before 1982, which should have been long gone from mint inventories, leading experts to believe that a leftover or misclassified blank had somehow been fed into the coining press during the 2010 production run, possibly due to equipment maintenance or blank substitution during a contract minting job for another country, and this wrong planchet error alone would have made the coin a notable rarity worth thousands. But the anomalies didn't stop there, because the coin also displayed a dramatic off-center strike with roughly 20% of the design missing along one edge, causing Lincoln's portrait to be shifted far to the right and portions of the legend, "In God We Trust," to be cut off. And then came the doubling, an intense and clear double die obverse that resulted in visible doubling in the word liberty, Lincoln's eye and chin, and most spectacularly, in the date 2010, which showed a sharp, repeated outline that could be seen without magnification, a feature that numismatists categorized as one of the strongest double dies ever seen on a modern Lincoln cent. And as if that wasn't enough, the reverse revealed a mirror brokerage error, meaning the coin had been struck against another coin that had failed to eject, resulting in an incuse, reversed image of the obverse design imprinted onto the reverse where the Union shield should have been, creating a visual effect that was both stunning and impossible under normal conditions, and closer metallurgical inspection revealed an unusual trace element composition with minute levels of nickel and tin not typically found in standard US coinage, suggesting either foreign blank origin or a one-off experimental strike using non-standard materials. And adding even more mystery was the presence of multiple die cracks and clash marks, including a deep crack extending from the rim through Lincoln's jacket and into the field, as well as faint outlines of the shield on the obverse due to misaligned dies striking without a planchet in between, leaving partial ghost images that numismatists call die clash impressions, and taken individually. Any one of these errors, wrong planchet, off-center strike, double die, brokerage, die clash, die cracks, would make a coin collectible. But all of them appearing on a single penny in pristine mint state condition is so statistically improbable that many experts initially questioned its authenticity, until multiple grading services and metallurgical labs confirmed every aspect of the coin's condition and composition, eventually assigning it a grade of MS68 with multiple error attributions and labeling it as one of the most significant error coins ever certified. And when word of the coin's discovery spread across forums, auction houses, and collector circles, the buzz reached a fever pitch with many calling it the perfect error or lightning in a bottle, a convergence of mistakes so profound and yet so perfectly preserved that it defied logic. And when the coin was eventually brought to auction, the bidding war was intense, with elite collectors, private investors, and even institutions competing to secure what was now being regarded as a modern masterpiece of accidental minting history. And the final sale price, a staggering $37 million, set a new world record for any Lincoln cent and redefined the boundaries of what collectors were willing to pay for ultra-rare errors, and its story has since inspired thousands of coin collectors around the world to hunt through their change, open old coin jars, and re-examine their collections, hoping to find another overlooked anomaly from the vast sea of pennies that might hold similar secrets. And while many minor errors have surfaced from the 2010 D production run, including small die chips, misaligned dies, and plating bubbles, none have come close to the breathtaking combination of features found on this single $37 million specimen, which now sits safely in a private collection as both a historical artifact and a symbol of the unexpected value that can arise from the smallest imperfection. And this coin's legacy is already cemented in numismatic history as a reminder that even in the age of high-tech minting, where precision is king and quality control is robust, the occasional error can still escape and become a legend. And it also shows us that true value often lies not in perfection, but in uniqueness, in the quirks and the accidents that tell a story no other coin can tell, and the tale of the 2010 D penny is one of those magical stories that inspires awe and excitement in collectors and non-collectors alike, proving that treasures are still out there to be discovered and that history is still being written one coin at a time. And if this story has inspired you to take a closer look at your change and appreciate the fascinating world of rare coins and the incredible possibilities they hold, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another amazing tale from the hidden world of coins where the smallest denomination can unlock the biggest fortune. Last 2024 D1 cent USA coin. An astonishing deep dive into the world of rare coins where modern-day minting mistakes collide with curiosity, patience, and luck to create jaw-dropping fortunes from the most unexpected places. And today we take you on an unforgettable journey through the story of the 2024 D1 cent coin, a Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors, numismatists, historians, and investors alike by reaching a mind-bending value of $36 million due to a series of minting anomalies and production errors so rare and so bizarre that they've placed this coin among the most valuable and coveted pieces in United States minting history. And what makes this even more astonishing is that we are not talking about a coin from the 1800s or one encrusted with jewels or dipped in precious metals, but rather a tiny copper-plated zinc penny minted in the year 2024 at the Denver Mint, the very same kind of coin that could be found in your pocket, purse, or spare change jar, and yet in this particular case, something went wildly wrong, or in the eyes of collectors, perfectly right, as this single penny emerged from the mint with a baffling and unprecedented list of production flaws that transformed it from a 1-cent denomination coin into an artifact worth millions. And to understand how that could possibly happen, we must peel back the layers of what exactly went wrong during its creation, and why every minute detail of those mistakes matters so much in the world of high stakes coin collecting. And it all starts with the physical attributes of the coin, which at first glance may appear ordinary to the untrained eye, but under closer inspection reveals a chaotic blend of rare errors, starting with a misalignment of dies that caused a significant off-center strike, resulting in Lincoln's portrait being pushed to the right side of the coin with portions of the rim missing, an error that would already give the coin collectible value. But this is just the beginning, because this particular penny was also struck on a transitional planchette, and while 2024 cents are supposed to be struck on the standard copper-plated zinc blanks, this one was instead struck on a leftover bronze planchette believed to be from decades prior and possibly intended for a special proof or experimental run, which immediately makes it an anomaly from a metallurgical standpoint, as testing revealed the planchette's weight to be over 3.1 grams, far heavier than the standard 2.5 grams of modern cents. And this single detail alone has ignited debates across the numismatic community about how such a blank could have made its way into regular production. But the intrigue doesn't end there, because the coin also displays a dramatic double die obverse, with clear doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2024 itself, which is crisp and deep enough to be seen with the naked eye, placing this doubling in the rarest category among known double dies. And this feature alone would cause significant excitement, but combined with the off-metal composition and off-center strike, it sends this coin into the stratosphere of rarity. Yet the most mind-blowing element of this coin comes from what was found on the reverse, a full reverse brokerage, where instead of displaying the expected Union Shield design, the coin shows an incuse mirror image of Lincoln's portrait, caused when the previous coin failed to eject properly and became stuck between the dies, and then struck again onto a new planchette, producing this remarkable mirror effect. And if you're keeping track, we now have a coin that is off-center, double struck, double die, struck on the wrong planchette, and featuring a reverse brokerage all in one specimen, a statistical improbability that challenges our understanding of modern minting quality control and raises fascinating questions about how this coin passed through multiple stages of inspection. And the theories are as wild as they are varied, with some experts speculating that it may have been struck during a maintenance shift or test run, while others suggest it may have been intentionally smuggled out as a mint error before being discovered years later in a collection. And adding even more intrigue is the coin's pristine condition, graded MS-68 by leading grading authorities, making it one of the highest quality era coins ever discovered from this era. And while most era coins show signs of wear due to circulation, this coin appears to have been preserved from the moment of its striking, possibly pulled from a fresh roll and stored away without ever entering the flow of everyday commerce, which only adds to its uniqueness and appeal to high-end collectors. And when this coin was first revealed to the public through a private auction house's preview catalog, the buzz spread like wildfire through forums, social media, and news outlets as images and diagnostic details confirmed what experts had never seen before. An era coin with a perfect storm of flaws, all captured in an uncirculated, perfectly preserved specimen, and the coin eventually sold for a jaw-dropping $36 million to an anonymous collector with ties to a private numismatic museum. And this sale not only shattered modern era coin price records but also established the 2024 D penny as a cultural icon in the coin collecting world, sparking a gold rush-like frenzy as thousands of hobbyists and even casual collectors began inspecting their change, hoping to uncover another anomaly from the 2024 D batch. And while numerous minor errors from that year have since been identified, including die chips, strike-throughs, and weak strikes, none have come remotely close to the once-in-a-lifetime convergence of mistakes seen on the $36 million example. And what makes this story so compelling is that it didn't happen in some long-forgotten century or during a war or economic crisis, but rather right now in our modern, digital, highly controlled era of coin production, proving that even today, with all our machines and inspections and standards, the human element and unexpected mechanical mishaps can still give birth to something totally unrepeatable, totally unpredictable, and astronomically valuable. And in this way, the 2024 D penny has become a symbol not only of numismatic excellence but also of the thrilling possibilities that lie within ordinary objects we overlook every day. Because who would have thought that a penny could buy a mansion, an island, or an entire block of high-end real estate? And yet here we are, with the coin that changed everything. And if this story has inspired you to dig through your coin jars, unroll old bankrolls, or take a second look at those seemingly mundane bits of change you carry in your pocket every day, then you are not alone, as the hunt is now on and collectors from all walks of life are joining in the search for the next great minting mistake that could unlock generational wealth. And so if you're curious, excited, or simply amazed by the hidden value of coins and want to stay up to date on more incredible stories of fortune, history, and era-driven miracles just like this one, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a single tale from the ever-surprising and endlessly fascinating world of numismatics, where the smallest things can lead to the biggest discoveries.